Hello, my dearest friends, and welcome to the Daily Creative Challenges in Adobe Illustrator. I'm your host, Julia Masalska. Welcome, everybody in the chat. I see a bunch of lovely people. We have Wade here, Fabio, Anthony's joining us, and Andre is here. So many lovely people. Come and say hi. Also, during the stream, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to, ask if you don't understand something. I'm here for you live. So if you're joining us from YouTube, make sure to head over to be.net/Adobe Live. This is where I'm reading the live chat, and I can see all of your messages. Khalid and Angel, everybody's saying hi. Annika is also here, and Adnan and Robert and Arshad. So many lovely people. How cool. All right, my friends, so let's get started. And today's Daily Creative Challenge is going to be really exciting. We're going to be working in Adobe Illustrator, and we're going to be using the Envelope Distort tool. So as I'm always saying it every single day, this challenge series is all about logo design. So with this, I want to show you a couple more new techniques so that your logo design skill set can evolve and can grow, and you can come up with new ideas, learning these new tools. So here we are on behance.net/challenge/illustrator, our daily creative challenge page. Here you can see all the past challenges that we did in the past week and also the week before. And today's challenge is all about creating an emblem logo. And we are going to be creating an emblem logo for a brand of your choice. It can be your personal brand, it can be any kind of brand, it can be your client even. And we're going to be using the Envelope Distort tool. When you click Get Started right here, you can get the starter file that I've prepared for you, and that's what that looks like. So I have prepared an artboard, and I have some instructions right here as well with some of the shortcuts and the tools that we're going to be using. So we have the selection tool, direct selection tool with shortcut A, then we have the type tool with the shortcut T. And then we're going to be using the Envelope Distort tools that are here in the menu. So I'm going to Object, Envelope Distort, and we're going to be experimenting, making an envelope distort with a warp, with mesh, and with the top objects so that you all understand what this is all about. First of all, what we're going to be getting started with, I'm going to remove this part right here. Oh, and one more thing, if you're just joining us for the first time, make sure to join our Discord community on bit.ly/AI Discord, and that's what it's looking like right here. So this is our Discord community, and here you can see the past challenges. This one is from yesterday. We were working with a divide tool, and you can see there are some really cool abstract shapes that came out of this. So super fun. This one is by Design SLLC, kind of reusing some of the objects that I had here. Really cool. I love it. By the way, have you guys seen the little element that I've included into the file? I think have I actually shown that to you? I'm not quite sure. Here, there we go. A little fun element. Have some fun in 2021. All right, that's what we're trying to have. And these challenges for us are to experiment and to try out some new things. And I want you to create multiple variations. Don't just get stuck on one design. I want you to experiment and really explore different options. So this is what we're here for. All right, so let's get started by locking the background. I'm clicking on the rectangle and I'm clicking Command and 2 to lock it. So right now I can work on this artboard and I'm not going to be able to move the background, which is going to be really helpful for me because I can really concentrate on the tools that I'm using without accidentally moving the background. So I am going to get into the type tool right here, or shortcut T as we've learned. So I'm going to use the shortcut T and I'm going to click and drag and make a rectangle or a box that's filled with text by default. And now I'm going to click the delete button on my keyboard, and you can see now I can zoom in and type in my text. So I'm going to write in distort, because that's what we are going to be doing today, distort. And now I'm going to make that in white color. So I'm going to adjust the fill right here. I'm going to double click into the fill and I'm going to make that white so I can see it on my black background, just like that. All right, now I can see my text is quite tiny, right? So I'm going to make it larger. And I'm going into my character settings in my properties panel. If you don't see the properties panel out here, go to window and make sure to click and have a check mark in front of properties. That means that your properties panel is activated. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to type in a custom value for our font size. I'm going to double click into this and I'm going to type in 200 because I want to have a pretty large text size so I can really work with this and see what I'm doing. All right, 200 is perfect. And now I'm going into my character style settings and I'm going to select a font. Yeah, so yesterday I have downloaded a couple amazing fonts. If you don't know where to start, you can go into fonts.adobe.com and start from there. Fonts.adobe.com. There we go. So here you can either browse fonts or look at font packs. Font packs are actually really fun because you have a selection of fonts that really match and work really well together. So that's just another kind of tool for you to use. Here we have the retro glamping font pack, which I think is super fun. And here you can scroll down, you can see that there is a whole font selection that you can use. So we have Gin Regular and then we have Fenway Park. That's what I'm going to be using. Let's see, Gin Regular, and I'm going to find it in my fonts because I had already activated it, and Fenway Park. So I'm going to hold Option and copy and drag this part over here. Fenway, there we go. So, and I'm going to type out envelope. Envelope, yeah. Spelled correctly. Perfect. So look how cool these fonts work together, right? So what I'm going to do now in the top one, I'm going to reduce the size just a little bit to maybe 150. I want that part to be just slightly smaller. What we can also do is holding Shift, we can select both of these and we can go in and change the paragraph to center align, and then we can also go in and align those two so they're nice and matched kind of above each other. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is let's create a couple copies. So I'm going to hold Option, I'm going to create a copy and kind of put it on the side right here. And I'm going to select these two holding Shift, and I'm going to go in Command Shift and O to outline those. All right. So now I have this group of text elements or letter elements, and I'm going into Object, Envelope Distort, and then we have multiple options here. Make with Warp, make with Mesh, or make with Top Object. So we're going to start with Warp. And what I like here is that we have some warp options going here that we can select from. So the default option is arc lower, or I think arc, and then we can determine, do we want to arc it or arch it to the bottom or to the top? Look, this already kind of gives us a really cool effect, and we can also play around with some distortion and play around with distortion horizontally and vertically. So I'm going to keep that at 0 for now, just because I like this arc effect. But what we can also do is we can do inflate like that, so it's kind of like a bubble effect. Then we can also do a twist, where our text is kind of twisted inside this this envelope, and then we can go in and adjust the amount of twistiness that we want, right? So this is also really fun to play with. And then we also have rise. Rise is also a really fun one, especially for this type of text where we have this like old school retro vibe going. I think this is really fun to play with as well. And again, we can go in and bend it more or less. How's everybody doing in the chat? Cool. Richard is also joining. Kinsley's here. Robert. Cool. Yeah, Richard. Cool effects to the text. Exactly. And this is so simple and easy to make with the Envelope Distort tool. So let's keep it at that. And now we can also explore some other options with the copy that we've made. So let's keep this right here. Now, what we can also do is we can create a custom shape, and then we can fit the text into that exact shape, and our text will be distorted just to match and to fit that specific shape. So what I can even do is I can go in and I can draw something custom. So I can use the pencil tool and I can just draw out a blob or a shape or anything really that you want, and I can then take that right here. So this is going to be the shape that I'm going to put my text into, and let's make that shape white so we can see it. All right, so that's my shape. Actually, I see there's a little corner that I kind of want to avoid, and I want to adjust it just a little bit so that it looks nice and smooth over here. Oops. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to slightly adjust the handle so it's a little bit of a smoother curve over here. Yeah, this is so much better. All right, now let's make a copy out of our text. Again, I'm holding Shift, selecting both of these, holding Option, clicking and dragging. Now I am going to fill this shape with this text, right? And first what I want to do is I'm going to outline again, holding Option, Command, Shift, and O. And I'm also going to group these with Command and G. Now we have these elements all in one group, right? Now I'm kind of going to select both of these, and we need to make sure that our blob or any kind of shape that we draw is located at the top. So at the top layer. And I'm going to right click, arrange, bring to front, just to make sure that it's really the top object, because what we are going to be doing is selecting all of these, and we're going to Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Top Object, right? So that's why we need to make sure that the shape is the top object. All right, cool, right? Look how fun this looks. And in that way, you can also create some really cool effects for letters. You can, for example, draw a custom shape, and then you can use a letter, or maybe even, maybe your initials, and place them in a specific shape, and that shape will be filled with those letters. That's another way to distort. All right, let's place that one on the side, and let's play around. What else we can do here? So we have this little text going on, and to really make it a badge logo, or how do we call it? We called it emblem logo. So to really make an emblem logo, what we want to do is we want to create a shape that's kind of rounded around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the circle tool, the ellipse tool right there, or shortcut L, and I'm going to hold Shift and draw a circle around this. All right, something like that. Now I'm going to use the type on the path tool. So I'm clicking and holding on type, and I'm going down to type on a path. And now I can click into the circle and I can type around the path so that I have a nice little circle graphic going around our little text here. All right, so I'm going to write something like we love Envelope Distort. And I'm going to change the font out of this right now. You can see it's really, dark color, so there is not enough contrast to the background. I'm going to make it white. And then I'm going in here and I'm going to select maybe even Jin. I can repurpose it. And I'm going to make the font size, of course, way smaller. So maybe to like a 70, or maybe even smaller, maybe even like a 40. There we go. So this is kind of something that we want to achieve, like a little kind of circular element around our logo. Just like that. We love Envelope Distort. There we go. And I am going to copy this, and I'm going to Command C, and I'm going to paste it right behind it so it goes all around the circle. Command V, Command V. All right. So let's see if our text fits in here. Yeah, should. Okay. All right. Looks like it maybe doesn't. All right. So let's do that, and let's see if we can type in. Oh yeah, we can still type. You can really write anything you want in here, but look, 3 times it fits perfectly. So I can do something like this. And now actually let's find a font that's a little bit smaller and thinner, because right now our circle kind of is catching a lot of attention. So let's go in and replace that Jin font with another font, maybe like Let's see what we've got here. Acumen variable concept, amazing font. I use it all the time. All right, so let's make our font just a little bit smaller, like that. And let's also add a little bit more tracking. So we add a little bit more space between the letters, and that's just another trick to fill up that empty space at the bottom that we see. So I'm doing that, and you can see that space is filling up. So yeah, this is perfect now. What else we can do with this? We can take that and we can also create a background shape. So I can use a circle, or I can also just custom draw my shape, and it can be some quite blobby shape in the background that we can make. And this is just a really nice technique to make one of those like old school retro vibe logos, right? So I'm going to use a color in here, maybe like a nice little cream beige, something like that. And I'm going to place that to the background like that. And I can also still change this color right here to black using oh, let's see, actually we have to double click into this, and then we can adjust the text. So let's make that a black color like that. So this is fun, right? This looks almost like a chewing gum over here. And so that's just another way to create a logo like that. And maybe we can play around with the size of this. Maybe we can make it larger or smaller, just like that. Actually, let me make a copy out of this, and I want to keep it very simple here as an option as well. Keep it white. There we go. Cool. So this is fun, right? How are you all doing? Is everybody kind of coming with me on this journey, or are you guys stuck? Feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Okay, save work for us, not for clients. Yep, that's for sure. Don't forget to save your work. Richard, yes, a good one, thank you. But thank God this file is already saved, and I also have my what's it called? So you can set that your document is being auto-saved every 2 minutes. That's what I always do. I think, you know, sometimes my computer does things where it just like turns off. So I definitely want to be prepared for that. And I think the way you can do that is preferences, file handling, and then we have automatically save recovery data every 2 minutes, or you can choose how many minutes or how much space you want to have between the auto saves. That's a really, really useful tool that I recommend you all to use. So, and then you can also, of course, choose a folder for that where you can save that data recovery file. So yeah, definitely save your files. Don't forget to do that. And yeah, and I highly recommend the auto recovery too. All right, so we have that. We have distorted with the envelope, and it's been quite fun, right? So we have this version right here. Let's create another version of this. And let me actually just create another copy out of that. Bam, Command Shift and O, outline, Command G to group. There we go. I kind of want to have another version of this where my logo is kind of like an arch or an arc. So I'm going to Object again and Envelope Distort and make it with Warp. And I can do an arc like that. I think that looks pretty neat as well. And I'm going to click OK. So look, we have a bunch of variations of this already. And I want to create even another one. So I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller, holding Shift. I'm going to proportionally downsize these so that they don't get distorted while I resize them. Because if I would just resize them without holding anything, you can see our logo can get quite messed up. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I want to show you another trick. And I'm going to create another copy, Command Shift and O, Command G. So we have outlined and grouped these. Now what we are going to do is we're going to do something a little bit more custom. And we have Envelope Distort, and we can make it with mesh also. What the mesh does is it creates these points that we can then distort, right? So we can select how many rows we want, and I'm going to actually take like the minimal amount and how many columns, and I'm going to just do like a 3 by 2 There we go. And now we can go into the direct selection tool, select the points, and we can custom adjust our logo. So what do we want to achieve here, right? And we can kind of custom move these points and custom distort them. So we can do something like that. Cool, right? This is so much fun. And so the key here is when you're designing an actual logo to really keep it legible. You know, you want a logo that's still functional and that's still legible. So I highly recommend you to actually keep it functional. And then another thing, so we can not only move the points, but we can also move these handles, and that determines how the curve flow is, right? So we can move those handles around. You can see that my whole envelope and my whole kind of composition is changing depending on the angles of those curves and how they're flowing, right? We can make something really crazy over here, move it around, but then the logo kind of loses its functionality and it just becomes way more abstract. But if you want to create some abstract art, this is really fun to experiment with. You can even do an envelope distort with any object. So you can take a circle like that, and you can go in object, envelope distort, make with mesh, and again we have the same setup. And now we can go in and use the direct selection tool, and there we can also adjust these points right there and can create something custom and something cool. This is probably really good for blob creation too. So if you want to make your own custom blobs, this is way to go. This is you have so much control over this shape that this is really fun. Cool. So awesome, friends. And you can literally distort any kind of graphic. So I can even go in and select a whole group of objects, and I can go in object, envelope distort, make with mesh, and again I can go in and just distort the whole thing. Of course we have to go into the direct selection tool with a shortcut A on our keyboard, and we can really go in and distort this stuff. This is also really cool. It's almost pulling like a chewing gum, right? You can see. This is also really cool to create an envelope distort around objects. So if you're designing something that's supposed to look 3D, the envelope distort is your best friend to play around with, because you can really match a graphic to a specific 3D object, right? Using the handles, using all of these things, and kind of adjust it to a 3D object. All right, so let me export my artwork now, and I'm going back into the regular selection tool. There we go. And I'm going to remove that for now. And for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep these two options, because I think these are the most rational and the most, functional versions of what we've created, and they are actually functional logos that we can use. So that's why I'm going to export those two. And now you can see that I have an artboard right here. So by clicking on the artboard tool right there, or shortcut Shift and O on your keyboard, you can see that this is my artboard, and that nothing else is going to be exported if I only export my artboard content. Now I'm going into File, Export, Export As, and here I can click Use Artboards, otherwise I'll export my whole workspace, which is not what I want. So I'm going to use Artboards, and I'm going to only export my artwork that I want to share, and I'm going to click Export. Resolution is perfect if it's 72 or 150, whatever works. Just 300 will be a little too much probably, and unnecessary. So now I'm going back into our Discord. We have a couple people who have submitted already. We have Agilos, who submitted challenge number 7 with escape room. Really cool. So again, to get to the Discord, head over to bit.ly/AI Discord and join our community. It's awesome here. It's a really safe space for us to share artwork and to really actively learn from each other. And we have amazing mentors here. We have Colby, Jack, myself, Randall, Ryan, and Sean. giving feedback, looking through your artwork. So this is a really nice way of learning, doing your daily creative challenges, practicing and getting some feedback, and learning new tools. Just in general, learning new tools, enriching your tool set, your little toolbox that you have as a designer, right? So getting new tools can be really, really helpful and can help you design more creatively and kind of get out of this regular logo designing routine that you might already have developed. All right, so to share your file, click the little plus element right here, and you can upload your file, or you can simply drag and drop it into the browser right here. Awesome, friends. So hopefully this was fun. I haven't really explored this feature, but now I'm interested, Laura. Yeah, I'm so glad that I could help you kind of explore a little bit more and see what you can do. So feel free to submit your logo design with the Envelope Distort tool, either if you use Distort with Top Object or with Mesh or whatever you want, any of these features that we've went through today. Just experiment and try something out and submit it. All right, my friends. So this was lots of fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and make sure to stay tuned for the program. We have some amazing streams after this. So thank you all so much, and have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next challenge. Challenge number 9, our last challenge together. But no worries, we'll have a repeat of these 2 weeks another time starting coming week. So you'll get the chance to repeat all of these challenges if you like, or if you missed any of these. All right, friends. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye-bye.